The Olympics are in full swing, the Dow is all over the place, and NewsLine's Brad Sloan reports on the overcrowded wreck.
We're going to hear from Cole Young with your Boise State Bronco sports update. These stories and more for your Boise State Newsline for the week of February 14th, 2018.
Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of Newsline. I'm Doug Mason.
And I'm Joey Oles.
Brad Sloan, our weatherman here at Newsline, looked into our campus recreation center. The rec is a great source for students to get active. It has basketball courts, a pool, racquetball courts, a gym, of course, a rock climbing wall, and much more. The trouble is just how crowded it can get. Let's see what some students had to say about it.
Breaking news, I'm huge. What do you think about that?
You're huge?
Yeah.
In what
Huge.
context?
I'm a beefy guy, man.
I like the sleeves.
I'm Brad Sloan reporting for your Boise State Newsline here at the Boise State Rec Center. January 1st, where New Year's resolutioners decide that this year is their year to stay fit. But what happens when they actually follow through? It's mid-February and gyms are still too crowded. Let's see what people have to say. So what do you think about the gyms being too full since January 1st still?
I hate it. I think it's awful. Well, it's just annoying because none of the machines are ever open. I feel like people are always staring at one another. It's awkward.
So, I mean, would you say if I was doing biceps, would you be staring at me?
Maybe.
Maybe? That's a definite yes. It was in her eyes.
I guess people are following through with their New Year's resolutions. It's good to see. But not so good for machines because they're always taken, so.
Not enough people have quit yet. Good for them, bad for us who usually go year-round.
It's ridiculous. I just don't understand. How are they still on track? Like, I thought I was going to have like a nice workout today, but honestly, everyone in Boise is here, and it's just outrageous.
Yeah, I have no comment. It's outrageous.
You just said no comment, and you made a comment.
Yeah, I'm just confused.
You making those gains?
Oh yeah, I'm making plenty of gains. You know, swole's the goal, size is the prize, so you can catch me in here any day of the week.
Okay, I feel that. How much you putting up on bench?
On bench right now, I haven't one rep maxed in a while, but I can hit 245 for 3.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty pathetic, yeah, because I'm putting up like 5 plates on both sides, so just so you know. Yeah. Can you take a guess at how much I put up?
335.
I'm gonna say 260.
Okay, well the answer to that is all of it. I just want to know, so how's that pump going?
Dude, it's pretty good today for a Monday. I can't complain, honestly.
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, the juices are really flowing. Can't complain at all.
Juices, is that like a steroids thing?
No.
Are you on the juice?
Pre-workout, we're not talking about steroids.
Making those like the meal side of the gains, or what?
The meal side? I'm actually meal prepping chicken and rice.
No one cares. All right, can you finish the statement? Curls are for?
The girls.
Okay. Tries are for the
guys.
Wrong, the girls. And then Saturdays are for?
The boys.
So what did we learn today? The gyms are still too crowded, people are still sticking to their guns, and I can lift all the weight. I'm Brad Sloan with your Boise State Newsline, signing off.
Wow, that's classic. I'm really glad that became a story.
You know, the gym looks like the place to be these days. All right. It's been a wild ride in the world of investments the past couple months, with the Dow steadily climbing to a roughly 26,000 point high in January and then dropping to about 24,000 points last week, rising a bit, then dipping below 24,000 by the 8th of the month. This caught many investors off guard. The cause of this market drop is not likely any one factor. Some point to electronic trading as a culprit of huge market spikes. Most analysts are saying this is a normal drop and not to be alarmed by the market falling too much currently. Alongside the stock market rise and fall, cryptocurrencies such as market leaders Bitcoin had a similar pattern, with Bitcoin reaching nearly $20,000 exchange in December, then falling below $7,000 on February 5th. Although the stock market is not nearly as volatile as Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, they could be another indicator of the economy and where the market is going.
It's interesting to me how it keeps fluctuating.
It just keeps moving, and that doesn't make any sense.
Just a snake is what it is.
Just a snake.
You know? All right, well, today, February 14th, is a special day for some people. We spoke with some Boise State students to hear their opinions on Valentine's Day. Let's take a look.
February is most famously known for the month of love. In honor of that, we took time to go around Boise State and ask students what their opinion is on Valentine's Day. What's special about next Wednesday? Do you know?
Next Wednesday is Valentine's Day.
I believe it's Valentine's Day if my calendar is correct.
I think it's some sort of national holiday, but I'm not really sure. I'm single, so I usually kind of skip over that day. But the day after Valentine's Day, all the stores, 50% off chocolate, so amazing.
Honestly, I have no idea what's going on next Wednesdays.
Do you have any plans right now for Valentine's Day?
As of now, I am planning to celebrate Valentine's Day on Saturday because I have an event for my job, the peer educators.
No, I'm just a single man, you know. But probably I will go outside and meet someone and talk about them and talk to strangers, I guess. Because I really want to improve. I really want to open my relationships to different people. And I hope that in Valentine's Day, perhaps I can find my other parts.
So my husband and I always go get pedicures together.
What are your thoughts on Valentine's Day? Do you like it? Do you not?
I like Valentine's Day. It's a good day for lovers.
I'm all about Galentine's Day. I'm going to brunch with my coworkers, and then I'm going to the basketball game with my sorority family. So big day with a bunch of women.
Whether it's cuddling up with someone you care about, going to the men's basketball game, or just eating an entire pizza to yourself, this Valentine's Day, Boise State students will sure be finding something fun to do. Reporting from Boise State, I'm Melissa Mione, Newsline.
Money. I don't know about you, but I love love.
I do as well.
Great.
That's a really cool clip.
Monique Morris, author and co-founder of the National Black Women's Justice Institute, spoke here on campus on February 8th. The event was very successful. Let's take a look at how it went. To eliminate the push-out and criminalization of our girls, the first step is for all of those investing their time and energy in the fight for racial justice, advocates, scholars, organizers, and others, to stop measuring the impact of the criminal legal system simply by the number of people who are incarcerated. I'm Joey Oles, here to talk about Push-Out, the criminalization of black girls in schools, by Monique W. Morris. So can you tell me a little bit about where we're at right now?
Totally. So we're at a conversation with Monique Morris. Dr. Monique Morris is here to talk about her book Push Out, which discusses the criminalization of black girls in schools. Really big topic, we recognize.
Yeah.
So she'll be kind of breaking that down, talking about the different reasons for the discipline disparities we see in schools. And what we can do here in Idaho.
So, as girls of color, why do you think it's important for you to be here? Why do you think it's important for you guys to be involved in the conversation?
Well, personally, being a black woman, we face two intersections. We have the lived reality of being black, and we have the lived reality of being a woman. And so it's going to be interesting tonight just to see how apparent those realities are, just because I think in living in them, it's hard for us to oftentimes see how much it affects our day-to-day life.
So why is this kind of issue okay for us to bring here? Why do you think it's so important for us to bring this conversation to this kind of place?
Well, I think it's just for that reason. Because it is such a predominantly white space, these conversations aren't going to naturally arise unless they're kind of agitated into existence. And so it is uncomfortable just because there aren't a lot of people of color, and there aren't many black women at that, especially powerful black women. So to bring one here tonight, I think it's powerful because it needs to be said, and no one else will say it unless she's here.
And while it is true that we do have a predominantly white society, we still realize that there are women of color here, there are black women here, and we exist in these spaces. And so we have to realize that we can't just ignore them.
As I was beginning to read the book, there had been a handful of facts that she had alluded to in her novel, and one of them was that for every one white girl who is suspended in schools, there are 6 black women who are suspended in her place. That's the statistic for it. And especially considering how marginalized black students are, I found that really intriguing.
That's great.
Everything about it is going to stand out tonight.
Wow, another really cool story.
What a great topic to be brought to Boise State campus.
All right, well, with the Olympics underway, there have already been some great moments for the U.S. early on in the 16-day competition, with Red Gerard, a 17-year-old from Silverthorne, Colorado, taking home the gold in slopestyle snowboarding. Here in the Gem State, we have 9 different athletes competing in the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang, the majority being ski and snowboard based, what with a few bobsledders and one lone hockey player, Hillary Knight, who is from Sun Valley, a breeding ground for great skaters. Chase Josie, competing this year in the halfpipe, is 22 and from Sun Valley as well, still living there when he's not competing. Caitlin and Scott Patterson, 2 cross-country skiers from McCall, and the other cross-country skier in the games is Simi Hamilton, hailing from Sun Valley to the easily accessible backcountry trails. Nick Cunningham and Sam Missioner are 2 Idaho University track athletes turned bobsledders for the U.S. team. Cunningham on the team at BSU and Missioner on the one at U of I. Both talented athletes turning their speed gained from track into a winter sport to help the U.S. Breezy Johnson is an alpine skier from Victor, Idaho, sorry about that. And last but not least, there is Jessica Jensen from Rigby, Idaho, competing in women's slopestyle and big air snowboarding. It'll be fun watching the traditional games with a couple familiar Idahoans out there to root for. So around your busy schedules, try and tune in to support your local athletes out there in the South Korean mountains.
Who knew Idaho was full of so many great athletes?
An athletic state, what can I say?
Fantastic. Now we have a new segment here on NewsLine. Ben Kaiser reports on current entertainment news in a segment called Bentertainment. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Bentertainment. I'm Ben Kaiser, and tonight we're going to be talking about Kylie Jenner's pregnancy as well as Solo, a Star Wars story. For months now, rumors have surrounded the pregnancy between Kylie Jenner and rapper Travis Scott. Whether or not the pregnancy was a marketing scheme, a joke, or just not true, fans were left uncertain. But for the youngest of the Kardashian-Jenner household, these rumors were laid to bed when a post surfaced on Instagram. The 20-year-old celeb uploaded a photo of her admitting to the pregnancy and apologizing to all of her fans about the tumultuous past 9 months. In her post, she went on to say, quote, "My pregnancy was one I chose not to do in front of the world. I knew for myself I needed to prepare for the role of a lifetime in the most positive, stress-free, and healthy way I knew how." End quote. In addition to the honest, heartfelt post, in her bio said a link to a YouTube video, a video documenting the true past 9 months of Kylie's life. In the video, it explored the pregnancy from an internal perspective, documenting Kylie's steps, and much like her show, gathered insight from those closest to her. For those wishing to follow the journey on a personal level, go and visit Kylie Jenner's Instagram at Kylie Jenner and click the link in the bio. In a different galaxy, one far, far away, another well-kept secret showed his smuggling head and made his first appearance. Just 3 months out from the premiere, Disney finally released the long-awaited Solo, a Star Wars story teaser trailer. We saw glimpses of the classic characters, new ones, some pretty creative visuals, as well as a lot more. Controversy, however, has surrounded the production since almost its inception. Issues began in late June of last year when creators of the Lego movie, Phil and Chris Lord, were released from the project due to creative differences. Famed Hollywood director Ron Howard was brought on to the project to be a supposed saving grace, but as the months continued, we saw less and less from the project, and rumors began to surface of an anticipated flop. Insiders were commenting that Disney execs believed the script was, quote, unusable, and that, quote, Alden Ehrenreich can't act. But more importantly, reporters were speculating that Disney expects the film to be a failure. Many were even skeptical that the film was going to be completed. Well, it's pretty obvious now that the film is completed and will be showed. And as Star Wars fans, the only course of action we have is to hope for the best. From Bentertainment, I'm Ben Kaiser. I'll see you around.
Bentertainment. Really cool new segment.
Great segment. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, that was cool. All right, well, sports have bonded generations of humans for hundreds of years. However, sports can sometimes have a negative social impact. The city of brotherly love faced some not-so-friendly media attention recently. After the underdog Philadelphia Eagles defeated the top-ranked New England Patriots in Super Bowl 52, the Eagles brought the city of Philly its first Lombardi trophy. However, the city then erupted in anarchy and chaos. Eagles fans have a history of reckless behavior, such as punching police horses just earlier this month. But this past weekend was possibly the worst. There were riots, looting, fires, cars flipped, and much more, all while "Go Birds Go" chant rang throughout the streets. Before the game even began, self-proclaimed Crispo cops went as far as to lather the streetlights of Philly in greasy Crisco to prevent fans from climbing to the top of the poles. This clearly did not work, as fans took this information as a challenge and managed to climb to the top and jump off anyway. Fans also broke down these poles and used them as battering rams to break into buildings. Homeland Security was eventually called in to restore order to the city. Sports are a staple of American society, but when the passion and emotion of the fans start to endanger themselves as well as those around them, it becomes less of a sports discussion and more of a concern for public safety.
Speaking of sports, we have Cole Young with our Bronco Sports Update. How you doing, Cole?
Guys, I'm doing great because the Broncos are doing great.
Yes, they are.
The game of the season for Boise State will take place on Valentine's Day against the number 24 team in the country in the Nevada Wolfpack. Both teams come into Wednesday night's tilt with 5 losses on the year. However, Nevada only has 2 conference losses, while Boise State has 3. A win tonight puts them in a tie for first place with the Wolfpack. The Broncos are coming off of a week in which they went 1-1 against New Mexico and Utah State, respectively, with both games also being played on the road. Led by NBA draft prospect Chandler Hutchinson and his 25.5 points per game. Now, as for Boise State's chances at the NCAA tournament, the Broncos are still very much within reach of that goal, and a win tonight would boost those chances even more. And remember to catch Boise State in action tonight. Tip-off is at 9 p.m. and can be seen on ESPNU. Valentine's Day could also see the Boise State women's basketball team tie for first place if they take care of business on the road in Reno as they take on Nevada. Sitting at 9-4 in conference, currently a win against Nevada and losses by Wyoming and UNLV respectively would have the Broncos sitting in first place by the end of today. Boise State is also sporting the current Mountain West Player of the Week in Marta Ermida. The junior guard had a week to remember when she averaged 23.5 points per game. Her performance was key in a pair of Bronco victories that set up the crucial showdown tonight. Tip-off is at 7:30 Mountain Time.
Thanks for those updates, Cole.
Thanks, guys.
Now let's send it over to Brad Sloan with your weekly weather update.
It's raining love, it's raining showers, it's raining love showers. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. So this weekend you're going to see a lot of cloud coverage and rain, but starting off on Thursday is going to be the only day you do get some sun with a high of 43 and a low of 30. But on Friday and Saturday, Friday is the only day of cloud coverage, sorry about that. And then Saturday and Sunday, it's nothing but rain. Saturday it's a high of 50 with a low of 35, and Sunday it's a high of 43 with a low of 25. Monday, you're going to see some cloud coverage left over, but then finally on Tuesday and Wednesday, you're going to see nothing but sun, but it's going to be a little chilly, so make sure you bundle up with a high of 39 and a low of 23. I'm Brad Sloan, your weatherman, your weather plan.
Thanks, Brad, but are you sure it's not raining gains? Anyway, great weather. All right, well, I think that about does it for us. Thanks for watching Newsline. I'm Doug Mason.
And I'm Joey Oles, and we'll see you next time.